The Body as a band have really matured as artists over the last few years. I'd say this album is a pretty monumental feat in their discography compared to their other works. This is a more left field approach to their usual sound, compared to their self-titled and even Ice EP. This album, all over it, has a beautiful use of eccentric samples and crazy soundscapes that really makes this their most musically adventurous album to date. This is easily ScHoolboy's most focused album yet. The combination of these well-crafted songs alongside of the boisterous ballads really make this an interesting and intense listen. The boys are putting all their talents behind their production and their performance to the forefront for this whole album. They're taking the genre of trap and they're taking all of their emotional and heavy-hitting influences and mixing it in to make a very fulfilling musical experience. Death Grips have really pulled off some of their most accessible and well-diverse materials since the Money Store, while keeping to their experimental roots which they dabbled in many albums before this. Overall, the whole album is a nice roundup of all the sounds that they've explored thus till. Now, Gold Panda has easily been one of my favorite producers for a while, basically because of how he has such an outlandish way of going towards production and songwriting. Now, this new album is incredibly engulfed in all these crazy new ideas compared to especially his last two efforts, but he pulls off all these ideas so well. This is easily some of his most enchanting and interesting work to date, all tied up in one neat package. Perp is easily one of the best up-and-coming rappers of the last year or two. His incredibly tight flow and delivery of constant energy makes this whole album listening experience quite impressive. His lyrics and rhymes, along with the brilliant beat choice for every song here, makes this album listening experience very fulfilling and makes you hungry for more. Ethan is really proving with this record that Crystal Castles still has a lot of energy left ever since the exit of Alice. This is definitely some of their most humbling and beautiful sounding work to date. The large inclusion of industrial influences mixing with his signature style really breathes new life into the Crystal Castles name. Plus, Edith's singing and performance is as bright and standoffish as we all hoped it would be. The eccentric and chaotic nature of this album is really a creative feat for this member of the Bruiser Brigade. His off-the-wall delivery alongside of the crazy beat selection harmonizes perfectly on each track. Definitely one of the most well put together and very interesting hip-hop listens you'll have in the next couple years. Now, these are very well written pieces to include in the band's ever-growing and expansive discography. All the members of Radiohead are putting their purest musicianship skills to the forefront on a lot of the writing towards the record. While it's not their most musically adventurous, it definitely hones in on their skills as matured songwriters. Zach and Andy are really proving that this side project is capable of scaling a lot more genres than we could have imagined. Each song seems like it's an expansive study on sound and genre fusing. The whole entire record is vast and expanding while keeping on to their artistic roots.
No home, you've been there, clearly all safety, no destiny.
One of the first concept albums I've ever heard to be this submerged in its own storytelling. The production is insanely accurate and it matches the mood perfectly to each part of the story that they're weaving in front of you. David's performance really helps the record move along too at a very tactful rate. This record, I think, should be definitely remembered in the experimental hip-hop movement for years to come.
Stayed at the Ace Hotel,
While admittedly this is really the first time I've truly indulged in Justin's music, this record really blew me away. The glitchy atmosphere and the masterful songwriting is truly captivating from start to finish. The whole album is an emotional journey of empowerment and self-doubt, which really leaves you with a beautiful mindset after every single listen. While others seem to be quite disappointed by this record, I personally was very enlightened by the wacky experimentation into all these different feels that they're seeming to reach into. You can really see their skills as just artists in general through every passing song. They are barely holding on to their roots as they blew through every conventional music boundary that they can seemingly think of. This album, to me, is an intense showcase of what real artists can truly do with the musical medium. And the best part is, it seems like they're only getting started. Ellery Roberts has never let me down with his songwriting, and this album is the poster child to that idea. Every single track on this album is so well written and beautifully empowering. From the slower ballads to the monumental heights that the songs seem to transition to effortlessly. His progression in musical skills and songwriting from Woo Life to now is incredible. And it only goes to show that you'll get much of the same, or even more, with every new project that he tackles from here on out. His musicianship seems so effortless, and with the addition of ebony horn, helps take this record to skyrocket to unmatched feats of music. If you haven't heard or picked up this record yet, come on, man.
Sickest creation, no need for
Money just feel
That is the biggest hypocrisy.
trying to text my account. In the crowd, come